No intro to this whole man. We in this bitch. Real Rap Coalition podcast. Back at it with another crash course. We haven't done a crash course in a while. I mean, technically we're doing a crash course on Game of Thrones, but we have not done a movie crash course in a while. KTO, what was the last crash course we did?
Now you see me.
That counts. It's like 3 movies. Y'all watched 2 movies and then
Yeah,
the
and then the other one, yeah.
uh,
Before that, it was Alien, I believe.
that was the last one we finished for sure. We
Because
started
we did Deadpool and Wolverine, and then I think we immediately started Alien right after that,
we started
or we did that vice versa. Whichever movie came out like second is the one that we
we
did right
started
after.
Oceans and didn't finish it.
Motherfuckers did Oceans and didn't finish it. We did Austin Powers, pause, and didn't finish it. You know, it's just it is what it is. This is our most ambitious undertaking by far because whereas we did the Saw franchise, which was 10 movies, the other, the Aliens shit was like 7, the fucking Deadpool Wolverine shit was like 8 or whatever. This is like 20 something movies.
Yeah, it's actually a
So
ridiculous amount of movies. Thank God we've already done some of them at least.
fuck
But
no, we haven't, bro. Anything we did is literally like after because
probably
we're going up to or are we going the whole way? Like, are we going just
pretty
up to
much.
Endgame or
No, we're going to everything that's before Doomsday.
fuck me running? Yeah, so there's a few
Yeah,
of them that we caught
this
in
is
real
the
time,
road to
I
Doomsday,
suppose.
man. This
Yeah.
is gonna have us busy,
So
busy
if
for a
that's
little
the
minute.
case, this is like 40 movies or something.
Something like that. And hopefully they don't drop another one, but they're likely to do so. We got a whole summer we got to get through before
Yeah, they'll
December.
pop out finally with the fucking Blade movie that's been in development hell for like 7 years.
That's not coming out till 2030, brother.
That shit is ridiculous, man.
they're gonna keep holding that movie. But Art is not a fraud. He is exactly who he has always shown himself to be,
Correct.
which is a child. Because that
Yep.
nigga has bedtime.
Yep.
He
He's a
goes to
little
bed
boy around this
faithfully
bitch,
on
man.
time every time.
Yep. He's like, all right, man. I got to get my recommended 10 hours of sleep.
Bro, about 50 minutes ago, KTL said I got 45 minutes left, and at that point I knew Art was not showing up.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So this is the road to Doomsday, man. We're watching basically everything Marvel that ties into everything up to Doomsday. We skipped the X-Men because we did an entire crash course on Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah. I mean, the only things, like I say, if we wanted to watch like
X-Men.
Apocalypse or, like some shit like that, maybe. But like, I don't think that will be too fucking,
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna tie
phenomenal
in
for
much,
us.
honestly.
But other than that, like I say, we watched all of that shit leading up to it. And
But
then
yeah,
other than that, to my knowledge, we watched Guardians 3 when it came out in theaters.
yep.
We watched fuck, I'm trying to remember. Like I know there's some things I've seen, but I don't think that we did like content on
I
because
think that's the only Marvel
we
movie
really
we did
watched a
in
lot.
real time.
Well, no, didn't Slim or y'all do the Marvels?
Oh yeah, we did watch that. We did watch that. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
so we
didn't
watched
watch
the
that
Marvels.
shit, but I remember like that happened.
And I think we may have covered Captain Marvel beforehand. I'll have to go through our catalog and see. But yeah, so yeah, we're doing this chronological order. Art suggested that we let me get this Art slander off here. Art suggested that we do release. However, it just makes for a better story when you go chronological order. So we're starting with this next week. We're gonna continue with Captain Marvel. So y'all pull up for that. But today we watched
Captain
Captain America, man.
America, the
The First
First
Avenger.
Avenger.
He
Um,
was, he was out there punching Nazis.
Yep. Brief synopsis of this movie. Of course, there will be spoilers, so here's your
It came out in
motherfucking
2011,
spoiler
guys. If
warning.
you have not watched it by now, come on now.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. Like this is, I guess a bit spoilery for those who like have. But I watched this bitch through, and then I went to see what the post credit sequence was, bro. They
Mm.
had a mini trailer for the Avengers dropping in May of 2012.
Yep.
I said, "What the fuck is going on, bro?
Bro,
What is time,
I graduated that month and year.
bro? That's absolutely filthy, bro. I was 16, like." That shit is disgusting.
Yeah,
But
we old, bro.
shout out to
What's that?
so
14 years? Yep. Almost
also
14 years ago.
like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Clearly, this will be the first of much content to come. With that being said,
Yep.
Captain America: The First Avenger follows the story of Steve Rogers, a small, sickly boy who wants to join the army. He is a huge fan of patriotism and just wants to make a difference and fight for our country. He is rejected because he is small, disgusting, and
Shout
fucked
out
up,
Jackie.
and has been rejected seven, at least no, 5 times. He was working on number 7 soon,
Yeah.
but he has been rejected a fuck ton of times from the U.S. government because he would not make for a good soldier to fight the war with the Nazis. So, through a fortuitous set of circumstances, he finds himself getting accepted and becomes a part of a program to create, the Super Soldier, the first Super Soldier, through serums and rays and whatever the case may be. So he goes through in a program headed up by the U.S. government, in addition to Howard Stark, the father of Tony Stark,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a success. And he ends up, attempting to turn the tides for the American army fighting the Germans and whatnot, specifically the Hydra subsect of the Nazi Reich regime, who is headed by the Red Skull, who also is the result of a somewhat failed super soldier experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is his origin story, because at the beginning of the movie, you find that he was frozen in a block of ice for like fucking 80 years or some shit.
And I want to point out, I did not remember that part of this movie at all. I was starting the movie. I was like, "What the hell is this? What's happening right now?"
Bro,
I
you
did
ain't
not remember any
remember
of that.
you ain't remember this man was in a block of ice?
Also, I'm quite confused. I mean, maybe because it was at an angle, maybe there had been water that built up in the front cockpit. However, they burrowed into the hull of the ship when they found him.
Mm-hmm.
When it was shown later on in another movie, him being thawed out, it was out of a block of ice.
Hey
But
man,
it seemed pretty empty whenever they cut the hole in the hole and went in there in the first place.
maybe they already took the whole shit out, bro. They took the plane out and just left him in there.
That's actually insane.
But Roots, did you shout this dude out?
I did. I said, shout out Jackie.
Oh, okay. I think
Do
you
it
pronounced
again.
it Nikki,
Shout
bro.
out Jackie. But
But yeah, so the first thing, I guess the thing most worth talking about here, um, Chris Evans. We know him. We've seen him as Captain America a bunch of times. I mean, I think that he really fits the character well. Like, Captain America is, the white bread, babyface champion of
mhm,
America and shit, man.
yep.
Like, he's a bit of a dweeb, you know what I'm saying? Of course, he's kind of a lame when he starts the movie and shit, and he operates on, positive morals and being the good
He
guy
is
and all that shit.
exactly every nerd that we've seen on TV, minus the glasses and suspenders. Bro, if you looked at the list of things that was wrong with him, like you remember the Jewish kid from South Park?
Hmm.
Like, oh, my glasses. And that
Hmm.
dude, like that, his list of afflictions was similar to that. It's just he
Bro,
had
it's so
everything
funny.
wrong.
Like, I don't know how they did it. I never bothered to look it up. I assume, through some camera effects and shit. and
Talking
like
about
doing some
his
shit. But
face,
like him,
his
yeah, about
face
to say
and
his big
child
ass head
body.
paws on this little shrimp body, man. Like that
That was
motherfucker.
a 12-year-old actor that they
It's
put in his body.
absolutely
Like his
insane.
head.
That boy had a bird chest. You punch him in his chest, and his shoulders will touch. Like, but
Probably
yeah,
can touch him on his own if he sneezes hard enough.
probably. You know, he had asthma and all type of other fucked up shit. But yeah, I think he delivers a good performance. You just have to know that the character of Captain America is a Boy Scout. He always has been. He always will be. You know what I'm saying? In the same
Uh,
vein as like Superman and shit is a Boy Scout. That's what Captain America is. He just like symbolizes all the things that are good and proper. And like if you saw him at a family, you know, well, not a family function, at a work function, he would like walk up, slap you on the shoulder, and ask, "How the hell are you?" You know.
yeah, he's gonna help with all of the extra assignments and stay late and all that shit. Like he's a swell pal. That's the kind of type of guy he is. But shout out to Chris Evans. He was the first uh actor to be recasted in from one
Marvel.
Marvel movie to another.
Well,
So
that's dope.
shout out to him
Good
for
for
that.
him, man. You know, I just literally the other night I rewatched Deadpool and Wolverine and saw him in that bitch as the Human Torch.
No.
Uh, you know, so good for him, man. Clearly, one role was more beneficial for his career than the other, but
Mhm.
you know, good for
I would
him.
well, I would say that his acting in Fantastic Four probably helped him get this role.
It's a possibility, but I'm just speaking more so on longevity. Like he was, you know, able to get a
Yeah,
bunch
yeah,
of
yeah, for
credit
sure.
in doing Captain America. Other than that, I mean, you got Tommy Lee Jones in this bitch as like an old military man. You
Hey,
know,
listen, bro. It's the only person I want to play my lieutenant slash captain slash general in any of my movies. All right.
damn, you can't have R. Lee Ermey as your CO.
Nope. I want Agent K. That's what I want.
Um, you know, Tommy Lee Jones is it's such a weird thing that like I feel like any role I've seen him in, I don't think he's ever been young. Like he's been middle
No,
aged at
I think
best.
he's been
But like
old as shit his entire life.
he's like probably one of the most underrated or like less spoken about in terms of like people who have a specific like type of character that they play. He's always just some old rugged like lawman or like a fucking he is a
Yo,
wise
even that
force in
what's
some
the
enforcement.
movie? What's the movie where he plays like a security guard or a deputy or something like that for the Texas Cowboys cheerleading squad?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
He looked old as shit in that.
I'm just saying, like I remember they had that shit, whatever that shit was, where a motherfucker was, like he was chasing that dude because that dude was like, it wasn't me, it was the one armed man, and he was chasing that motherfucker. Trying like, I remember that shit, like he was like middle aged as fuck there, bro. But
Yeah, I think he was just born with wrinkles on his face. But shout out to him, man.
yeah, like
He did a pretty good
he
job.
delivered a performance, worthy of the role that they cast him in. I don't know who played Peggy Carter, but good job to her. You know what I'm saying that was a
I
pretty
shot
attractive lady.
I let this be known to Slim, and this is a very minor character, but the bitch that pulled Captain America to the side and
That
smooshed him
Blondo.
behind yeah, that's Marjorie Tyler from Game of Thrones. So all Game of Thrones fans, if you watch
That
closely,
didn't sound like you said Thrones, bro. That
uh,
second
uh,
time.
well, Game of Thrones. If you watch closely, and it took me a minute, bro. I literally had to pause the movie and just sit with my head in my hands and think really, really, really thoroughly through my thoughts to figure out what I know her face from. Because they only show a side profile of her face. But yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
keep it a
her.
buck. I know Cap was fucking with Peggy, but like that was a good looking bitch right there
Hey,
that was
listen, bro,
smooching on him and shit,
she
man.
is top 5 bad bitches on Game of Thrones, bro. Trust me.
I don't know how like I don't know how extensive that list is. Like there's a lot of women, but I don't know that a lot of them hoes are bad.
As you
Uh,
go, it's not a plethora of them at the same time, but we made this list as we went, and we're on season 5 now. So we've gotten to the point where we got a solid top 10 at least.
Okay. Well, but yeah, and then whatever. I don't know the guy's name either who plays Red Skull, but I've definitely seen him in other shit.
I've seen him in mad shit. Doesn't he? That's not Agent Smith, is it?
Let's see, Hugo Weaving. It is. Yep, that's Agent Smith.
It is.
He was in V for
Mr. and
Vendetta. He was in Lord of the Rings. I remember he was that motherfucker with like that long black hair.
Yeah. I think he was like part elf or some shit.
I swear, it said he was in Wolfman. I was going to say, Pools, he was in Wolfman, but this is the 2010 Wolfman. Hey, bro, he was in Happy Feet. But yeah.
Stanley Tucci. I think we had him on the podcast before. I can't think of from what, but I'm pretty sure he was. He was the one that played the German scientist. I think he did a pretty good job for the little bit of time that he was there.
He was in the Hunger Games. He was in the Lovely Bones. Let's see here. That is just a bullshit, not good Kingsman movie. Easy A.
The second one?
The King's Man.
Oh, The King's Man. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Easy A. Beethoven, the dog movie.
Yeah. This is my first time watching this in a super long time. It's actually crazy to see Bucky so young in comparison to all of his other appearances, because we see him throughout the rest of the movie from what the second Captain America on Winter Soldier on.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a good 4 or 5 movies in between this and that, so it's a lot of time that passed, and then most of his face is covered throughout the movie in Iron, what is it? God damn. Winter Soldier. His face is covered mostly in that, and then we see him he's just either really swole as shit or skinny as hell, like in his most recent performance.
That motherfucker name is Sebastian Stan, and it looks like he's gonna be in the Batman Part 2 that drops next year.
Oh shit.
So salute to bro. Yeah, salute to bro. But
salute to bro, for sure.
Yeah. So like I say, I'm gonna be honest. I won't bury the lead here. We kind of discussed it before this shit started. There's not a lot to talk about in terms of the plot of this movie. Like,
it is extremely straightforward.
It's milk toast as fuck, bro.
Yeah, it is a straightforward movie, bro. Yeah. This is the second movie that we've had in a week where the bad guy was introduced with a big ass tank. I did notice that.
Maybe that's maybe that was just the thing, because like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen came out in like 2003. This came out in like 2010 or some shit.
2011.
Really, that's crazy. But yeah, that, like I say, this shit is like a pretty simple plot. They go through, Steve Rogers goes through what the fuck he does and gets the Super Soldier Serum. And I'm gonna go through like this real quick, and then we'll talk about some specific scenes. Mm-hmm. And then like he goes through and does some shit in advertisement for America. He decides he wants to go try to save his friends. He saves them, and then they go and continue to fight the Nazis until it finally, they get to the place where the big bad is and shit, and fight their way through that shit. And Red Skull, bad shit happens to him. Steve ends up flying a fucking thing, like a plane or whatever that shit you want to call it, into the water, and Bucky falls off the side of a fucking train. Like I say, it's not a complex plot at all.
This movie goes in order. This goes before the serum happens, montage of him selling whatever he was selling, big ass fight, montage of him with his new gang, new clique or whatever, 2 big ass fights, and then the movie's over.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's a longer movie than I remembered it being. I was like, damn, this
Yep.
is over 2 hours. Like, but whatever. I will see, like some things I want to talk about. This motherfucker, like, they gave him they surely went out of their way to show like how effective this super soldier serum shit was for this dude. Like he did a full on sprint, chased a fucker across Brooklyn and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
And
he
like
was
finally,
running
bro,
so fast he could not turn in time to not fly through a window.
bro, he dove in the water after a fucking like
A mini
submarine
submarine and
thing,
swam that
like,
bitch
and
down.
pulled a motherfucker out that bitch and drug him to the surface. Buddy, like they, you know what I'm saying? He busted the window and Buddy's like, oh, there's water getting in. He's starting to like, drown and whatever. Steve has been running this whole time. Now
Yeah.
he's swimming and punching shit and whatever and doesn't like have any problems. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Bro, he goes from sprinting to hopping across cars or hopping from car to car to swimming down a mini submarine and yanking someone out. He not only yanked them out, he threw them
Out
onto
of the
land
water, bro. You know,
from the
whenever you
water.
try to throw a punch in the water and your arm moves slow because there's
Fuck
resistance
a
and
punch,
shit,
KCL. He threw a man
that's what I'm saying,
from
bro.
the water
When
to the
you
land.
normally throw a punch underwater, your hand moves slower because, like, you know what I'm saying, there's water resistance and shit. He threw a motherfucker hard enough out that water to where he didn't just, like, go to the surface and whatever. He flew out that bitch and landed on the dock, on the pier. Like, that is ridiculous, man.
I would say that this is probably the most that they've done as far as showing the transformation or up until this point, right, in the movies. Because if you go by release, right, everybody that you see get powers, which it's not that many people, but everybody that you see get powers, Spider-Man, you got his like swinging through the city or whatever, but that's not super crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, but Iron Man gets his suit and he's flying around and whatnot and shooting rockets at people. This motherfucker like ran through a city to catch a motherfucker. And the motherfucker he ran after the entire time he was running, the nigga took 2 forms of transportation and he hawked down both of them.
Yeah, bro. If I'm him, I'm pissed, bro. Like I literally just like did all of this shit, bro. Let me fucking win. Like this is ridiculous. You know
He
what I'm
had
saying?
absolutely no chance.
He threw that kid in the water and shit. So he's like, oh my god. He said, "Don't worry, get after him. I can swim." Like, fucking stupid,
Yeah,
man. But
it
I'll
was
tell you.
up for him, bro.
Oh, one thing I wanted to address too, in the start of the movie, he's getting his ass whooped by that dude because he was talking shit in that movie theater, and that was the most like fucking 19, like the early
Yeah.
1900s bully punches I've ever seen.
Even
You know what I'm
the
saying?
sound of the punches sounded like they were in the 1940s. Like
He's throwing the big like overhand punch that like he follows all the way through with. Like he doesn't come back to his form
like
immediately.
I'm pretty
He's
sure
just
I'm pretty sure I could see "pow"
I
on
was
the
about to
screen every
say,
time.
bro, there's a POW sound effect bubble popping up right there. Like
And
that shit.
then the bully gets hold in the not even hold, just dealt with in the most 1940s way. He gets socked back and then kicked in his
They
ass.
kicked in his ass. Like, man, I don't know, bro. Like he has some heart, but Steve was lame, man.
Yeah.
He was lame as fuck. Bucky was
I'll say
like,
this.
Bucky went and got them some hoes. He
And they
found
said,
some
"Nah,
bitches
bro, I
like
want to
grew
go
up on
fight."
themselves at the fair and shit, bro. They went and like watched some shit, and he over here still trying to get into the army. Boy, if you don't go knock that bitch off, like,
They said, "Fuck these hoes. I want to go fight in the war."
bro, he never even got to kiss his own bitch before he got froze in a fucking thing, bro.
He kissed her once.
I don't remember that. I remember seeing him kiss the blonde bitch, and then he just
Yeah,
kept talking
right
about
before he jumped
dancing.
off the car to the jet, she kissed him. He was like, "Wait," and kissed him real quick. And that was
Man,
when they did that.
I remember. I just remember hearing Tommy Lee Jones in the background saying, "Well, I ain't gonna kiss her." Like,
But yeah. So one thing I will say that they did a good job of. This movie was very stripped down, though they had certain parts where they wanted to show, you know, their own Marvel flair to certain things, like the presentation that Howard Stark did and the gadgets of that Hydra had and was dealing with and shit like that. Everything else was very stripped down to the 40s. And I think I appreciated that a lot from the movie. Even with how like the fights were going or how like the certain effects that they used, like it looked very, I think if you put this movie in black and white and take just a couple of things from it, it's very easy to say that this is an old movie, even older than 2011. You know what I'm saying? So I think they did a very good job at the production on that.
yeah,
Uh, uh,
I mean, like, one thing I will say that I didn't particularly like about this movie, like, I'm realizing, like, a good way through it, I'm like, bro, this is just, like, a lot of this shit. Why is there just so many fucking lasers and shit? There's just such a heavy emphasis on the Tesseract and all the shit that it can provide, bro. We're fighting with fucking laser guns and all type of shit. Like, hey,
and,
bro,
niggas are getting
I'm looking
zapped
at Red
left and
Skull,
right,
bro.
bro.
He's got this little fucking 1920s pistol and shit. I'm like, bro, up blick on this goofy motherfucker. Stop shooting fucking lasers at him. His The shield is made to absorb that shit, bro. Put one in his fucking boot and blick his shit down. Like, what is
That
wrong with
that
you?
that shield is not big enough for him to not have gotten shot in his leg at least once.
Man,
There was
he
bullets flying around every time he was in a fight, and he never got clipped a little bit.
Bro, I get that it's a powerful weapon and all this shit. There's no reason all these got to be laser guns, bro. The only thing that I saw that was even comparable to laser guns, there was just a lot of fucking flamethrowers in this movie, bro.
You know what? I'll attest
So many
to some more cap.
flamethrowers.
I'll attest to some more cap. The nigga Derek Luke, he was the one that he played Gabe Jones. He was like in the kind of in the background. He was the one black guy in the platoon or whatever. He
Okay.
was running full speed through the forest, shooting a 1940s 249, which is a fully automatic rifle with very heavy ammo, and it uses a belt. It's a belt-fed gun, and he's running full speed while he's shooting it.
Hey
Cap,
man, he's out
I
there.
call cap. Ain't no goddamn way,
He was in the gym with Steve Rogers, bro.
bro. He was
Like,
running full speed, jumping over trees and shit while letting off. Like, there's no way. I call cap.
I
Flag.
just I don't know, bro. Like I say, they just kept like doing this shit with all these flamethrowers. I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on here, bro? Like, why? You know what I'm saying?
There
Like,
was
Captain
an
America,
excessive amount of flamethrowers.
bro. That's the shit that like that's the thing that he couldn't overcome in this movie, no matter what, man. Like, if a
Every time some
motherfucker
fire
got
popped
some
out, it was
shit
up.
that's yeah, if a motherfucker got some shit that shoots fire, bro, it's over with. He ain't got nothing for that. But
I will say as well. You know, you kind of forget about some superhero movie tropes until you see them. The evil guy monologuing once he catches the bad guy, they have to figure out another way to do that. Like, I know this is like from
I was
2011,
about to
so
say, bro, this
it's
was
cool for
like
them.
15 years
But
ago,
I
man.
swear to God, they better not in Doomsday. They better fucking not.
I'm
I'm
gonna be honest, bro. I feel what you're saying, but if there's any fucking villain that I think would monologue his way through some shit that's not
yep,
Thanos, it's
yep.
Doctor fucking Doom, bro.
That
That
nigga Dr. Doom,
motherfucker,
that
like,
nigga talk, boy.
bro, he is an ego-driven madman and shit. Especially if you put a Reed Richards in front of him, he gonna tell his whole
Oh yeah, he
fucking
gonna cut it
plan
off.
and how it's gonna fuck some shit up, man. Like I say, if we was dealing with Kang, maybe we got a chance. But Victor Von Doom, he is going to talk them to death, man. Um, I, you know, something that is kind of funny, like Steve is such a lame and doesn't have no like real world experience with culture or women, where he asked that bitch if she was fondueing with Howard Stark and shit. You know what I'm saying? Howard was like, fondue is a cheese dip, bro, with like bread and shit. And he was like basically telling him like, yeah, you thought you knew what was going on, and that means you already lost the game fucking with these women.
Well, I mean, he said it in a way like, dude, try some like he it was like he was holding a cigar, fucking like he was clearly hitting on try some fondue later, huh? Like he sounded like he was shooting his shot. So
I I don't
you
know,
can't
bro.
be mad
Maybe
at
like
him
I
for
wasn't
at
fully
least
paying
asking.
attention to that point. I just heard that shit is like he was out there like hoeing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Steve was sitting there like talking about he was gonna go do that shit. He was like, oh yeah, we'll stop in fucking Berlin and get some fondue, huh? Like, type shit where it's like,
But at
yeah,
the
we're gonna
same
stop
time,
in
it
enemy
is
territory.
Howard Stark, and if his son is anything like him, he gonna get on some hoes.
Hey man,
So,
that's
I
Howard
mean,
was in this whole saying like that's why he don't focus on hoes. He focused on his work and
yeah,
shit.
he did say that.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if we're to take him at his word, then that's what the fuck he got going on.
That nigga had a
But
flying car that never took off. I never saw a flying
yeah,
car after that this movie.
hey man, he said he was a few years. He probably died before he was able to make that hole the right way. But
Nigga, if
I'm gonna
my
be
pops is working on a flying car and I have more technology to make a flying car, I'm making a flying car. I mean,
yeah.
he
I'm gonna
made
be
a
honest,
flying
bro.
suit,
Like that is
but I'm releasing a fleet of flying cars and I'm making bukus of bread, bro.
bro. That is kind of a stretch that within this universe. Spoiler alert: you see like fucking, propulsors. I don't know if I said that right. Whatever the case may be, like suits
Phase
powered
one.
by fucking arc reactors and
Yeah.
shit. You got fucking big ass alien ships that fly off of some shit and all type of things, bro. Like, but you don't got a car that like don't need tires.
The only people that got a car that don't need tires is Fantastic Four, and that's in another universe.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But yeah, I like this movie, honestly. I'm very excited to go through this shit again. This is probably my like 12th time watching these shits from start to finish. And I always watch them the same way. I always watch them in chronological form. I don't watch it any other way. It's just the best way to enjoy
I
the
don't
movie.
think I've watched that shit in chronological order yet. I've always seen about it, but like I
But yeah,
think like I've always
it
watched that
helps
whole in
it helps
release
tell
order.
the story a little bit, and then when you're watching from this perspective, you're able to see things connect a lot easier. Like you're able to see where certain gems are dropped. Like this is the first movie that they mentioned the vibranium shit because Captain America gets the shield. When the Tesseract starts acting up, you realize that this is actually connected to space and shit because the show the
Bro, they
universe has shit to do with some intergalactic bullshit or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
they
You're able to
sent
see
that
bullshit.
they sent that skint face Nazi bitch up into orbit, boy. He looked up and that
And
shit was doing that to him. He went to
bro,
the fucking Milky Way.
it pissed me off that they never explained what the fuck happened there,
Yeah, I
except
mean,
this nigga just grabbed the cube and disintegrated.
well,
Like,
I mean, bro, you know what happened to him. Like we see
yeah. We
in
know the
Endgame
end
what
result
happened
of
to
what
him.
happened to him, but like, why? All that
Shit.
happened was the nigga got thrown into
He
what the
was out there
Tesseract
fucking
is.
around with some shit he ain't had no business fucking around with,
I
man.
guess.
Like he was out there just like playing with powers beyond his comprehension, and that shit happened to him. Like it is a tale as old as time. The more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. You
And
know.
it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I'll just point it out. We definitely see the Tesseract a lot more than any of the other stones in this shit. And I think that was a fuck up on their part because there was other shit that they could have did with the other stones. There's like two stones that we don't even get introduced to the end of
Pretty
phase
much, yeah.
4 or 5 or whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
We've never heard anything about these. But this Tesseract, they spam the fuck out of this test. This Tesseract is in like 3 different movies.
Hey man, that shit is a box of absolute power, man. That
Yeah.
shit, like, and it, like I say, probably like for when they introduce some shit like that,
Mm,
it seems really cool. It seems like the be all end all until you're given the knowledge that, like, oh, this is, one of like a bunch of other available ones. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? This is just the one you be seeing. And I mean, I guess it kind of like would make you wonder that, like, okay, what, you know, is going on. Like, if this is what's happening with this one, what kind
Mm,
of other crazy shit must the other ones have gone through with all the different weird powers that they hold? Like we see the time stone, like, kind of,
mm.
and like what happens with that. But yeah, it's, I don't know, man. God bless them though.
But yeah, I think we can pretty much wrap up on this movie. Like I said, it's very straightforward. I like the movie.
Boy, this is gonna be the shortest podcast we done ever did.
Hey, listen, bro, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of these first few is probably gonna be like that. Like this first phase might. I can think of one movie. Yeah, I can think of one movie which is probably Winter Soldier, maybe Civil War that will have a lot more shit to talk about. But these first 3 phases or whatever the fuck, very straightforward. Like I'm thinking of Thor right now. Thor is the most straightforward movie of all of these movies.
That's funny. What is the next movie?
The next movie is Captain Marvel. Because we're going in chronological order, this was set in the 1940s and Captain Marvel was set in the 1990s.
No,
So
it wasn't.
yes, it was. It was set in the 90s.
World War II was over by the 40s.
Well, they went back to the 40s. Like it says 1942 whenever they flash back to the first part of the past after they open up the hull of the sunken ship.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, because like they're like World War II happened in like 1932 or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like a thing that they did on accident or maybe it's just.
Hey, Roots, a little peek behind the camera. That also means that fucking William Shatner was alive during World War
Jesus
II.
Christ,
Like,
that's insane.
fucking guy.
That nigga was watching like black and white TVs, bro.
Bro,
Like
for those of y'all that don't know, we just found out William Shatner is 94 years old, bro.
I don't think a person should actually have to live that long. That's so much shit.
Hey, bro, live as long as you want. That's where I'm at with it. But like, I don't like that is, you see 90. Dick Van Dyke turned like 100 and he looks old and decrepit. William Shatner looks like he might be in his 70s, whatever
He
the
looked
case
like he
may
can
be.
do.
Like,
He looked like he can do a movie or two.
yeah, I'm about to say, he
One
looks like
more
he's
time.
still got another good 20 or 30 behind him, like, or in front of him rather.
Yeah, that's actually
But
crazy. That nigga might be a vampire. I don't know.
I don't know, Roots. If you don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this,
Ain't no sense in
we
it.
can
I mean,
we
this is
can
the first one, and we got a long fucking way to go.
we can do a final thought and rating on this bitch, man. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll pop off. So like I said, I've watched these movies a bunch of fucking times. I'm sure it's gonna be some shit that I find that I did not see before, but I'm always down to watch Marvel movies, bro. This is my by far my favorite franchise. I put my wife on this shit a couple years ago, and I think we've watched them through at least twice since then. We always skip in game and shit because she's a softie. But as far as this movie, it's good. It's good for what it needed to do. It introduced the first Avenger, which is Captain America. Like I said,
The name.
like I said, they stripped down the settings to convey what they needed to convey, and they conveyed it well. I think that the clash of the old time World War feel of America going through a world war, meeting the futuristic weapons and the bad guy villain, and even like with the chase scene and like the escapes. The escape was such the bad guy escape for him to just go jump in a fucking jet that has weird propellers on it. Like I can see that happening in a movie that was released in the 1960s because that's how all the James Bond villains got away all the fucking time. It's either a fucking submarine, a helicopter, or a fucking jet that looks weird. It's all the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate them conveying that look. I think Chris Evans did a very good job. I think he may have done. It's a toss up between him and Iron Man as far as first impressions as the character, and yeah, I think it's really good. I'll give this a. I'm gonna be grading these in comparison to each other, so in comparison to the Marvel movies. So I'm gonna give this a straight 7.
Um, yeah. So this is a movie that exemplifies a character. Honestly, in my opinion, like this is like this movie, and if that makes sense, this movie like feels like a Captain America movie. It is just basic, stripped down. It is good versus evil. Nazis are bad guys. America is good. All of that. It's no weird like powers. It's just him, with a shield in his fists, delivering justice to the Nazi scum. Um, like I say, the fucking villain of this bitch is literally a skinned face Nazi from a secret organization. Like it's generic. It's tropey as fuck. It's
Yep.
got some good things. Chris Evans does well in his portrayal of a character who is, at this point, especially in his career, not that layered. It's a movie that you watch and you gain some information on. It's like a lore dump kind of movie. It's not necessarily something that like you would. I don't know that anyone would put this as like one of their top Marvel movies, even of like the first four phases or whatever the case may be. But it's okay, it's solid, it's not offensive. It's a little bit long for my tastes, but it's got some good things in it. I, am not comparing things to other Marvel movies, but I'm still just kind of going off a feeling. I also rated it as a 7. I just like I feel like it's an average movie. I'm not rushing back to watch it, but as a part of like gaining the greater cosmic scope of things, I'm okay watching this origin story because as boring of a character as at times Captain America may be, the idea is still cool and wholesome. That like a motherfucker who like wants to do the right thing and shit. Like despite not having the physical capabilities to do so, is imbued with like physical capabilities. The Super Soldier Serum is a fire idea, especially for when Stan Lee came up with it. I don't
Yeah.
know, probably in the fucking 60s or some crazy shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like to come up with something like this and it to become such a part of like pop culture to where even outside of Marvel and shit, the idea of a super soldier serum is just referenced in things like that.
Yeah.
That's fire and that's, dope. Like I say, the character can be boring, but it's got some like good, interesting shit to it. So it's Travis. Travis is back roots.
Holy shit. What
But
up, Trav? I think the last time we seen him, we was doing a Marvel movie.
probably so, man. Salute to bro. But yeah, with that being said, like I say, I give it a 7 as well. It's okay. That's the headline here. This is an okay movie, and you can tell that by how long we talked about it.
But yeah, man. All right, so Captain America, the first Avenger, gets a straight 7, 7.0. Y'all
Mhm.
join us next time. We don't know when next time is going to be, but it's going to be very soon. We're going to try to keep up on this because we have at least 30 movies that we need to watch through. And we're going to keep up on it and we're going to make sure that y'all are informed. So the way that you can become informed is or join the Discord. That's going to be in the description. I'm going to edit it in here so you can go back to it or go click on one of our other movies. I forgot to put it in the description, but it's in the description for all of our movies. Hold on, let's go through these real quick. I didn't even realize what movie y'all was talking about, but that was mid. Yeah, it pretty much was. Yeah. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And this is my Marvel bias because of the heights that they ended up reaching later on. They needed movies like this to make the foundation. So
Hey,
that's
salute
what
to
I was.
bro. I appreciate you watching and commenting. But how the fuck you didn't know what movie we was talking about? It's on the banner. It's the name of the shit. We've been
Yeah, I
here
ain't
for
gonna
like
lie. Like,
45 minutes. How did
shout
you
out to
not
you.
know
You
what
dropped the
movie we're
ball on that,
talking
brother.
about? Like,
Hey,
that's
listen, bro.
funny
If
as
you
shit.
ever need to know what the hell we're talking about or what we've watching, look at the banner at the bottom. It's always there. It's interesting as this movie kind of bombed I didn't know that it bombed financially, yet was so vital in building the Avengers movie, which still made over $1 billion.
I mean, I
They
feel like that's something that like you take a risk with sometimes if you're building the shit, and that's with anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you I'll use the analogy of like wrestling. Motherfuckers build these storylines and whatever, and like sometimes it's just like throwaway segments or matches or whatever leading up to the big joint that you're trying to sell. That you make some, maybe you'll take a loss leading up to it, so you can make the big gain at the end.
Yeah, and to be honest, a lot of them were like that. Like around the in between the 2007 to 2012 range, you had the first Iron Man, you had this Captain America, you had Thor, and I think maybe the second Iron Man as well, and that was pretty much it. The
Hold
height
on,
of
hold
all of
on,
that.
hold on now, Black Roots.
What's up?
We watched The Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, that
Fucking
was
Ed Norton.
yeah. They still couldn't figure out what the fuck they were doing with that. In which I would not have had a problem with Ed Norton as the Hulk that we got to see in the Avengers, but I'm not mad at Mark. What's his name? Mark Rufus.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. I'm not mad at him hitting his performance and what he brought to the table either. So,
Mm-hmm.
but but yeah, as far as those first movies, I think the peak is probably Iron Man 2. Be honest with you, like it probably had the best storyline. It had a lot more going on in it. It had I want to say it had like two villains at least in it or some shit like that. Like they had a lot going on in the second one. All the rest of them very very straightforward. It's especially like I said the Thor movie. The Thor movie. We'll get to it, and it might be a shorter episode than this. Let me continue reading. Despite everything in the recent phases, it just shows that hope isn't totally lost for Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. I'm looking forward to both of them. I'm always going to be a supporter of Marvel. Yes, they've had their downs. She-Hulk was fucking terrible. Echo was mid. Like they hit a little streak of Reggie in them shows and shit on Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
there's been some bullshit. I think that there was some really good shit post Endgame, though. I mean, we'll address it, but like what comes to mind is the third Spider-Man they did. Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought Thunderbolts was pretty good.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, they have some high highs. They got some pretty mids though. But was a cool movie for his character for sure. I joined late. Yeah, okay, got you. The movie didn't even double its budget. That's crazy. For a Marvel, hearing that for a Marvel movie today, knowing what Marvel is now, to know that they have a movie that they didn't do double their budget is actually kind of crazy. I'm in the minority. Aside from a great third act, I think the Incredible Hulk is awful. 60% of that movie is montages of people
I'm
typing
gonna
on.
be honest with you,
I
Travis.
believe,
I don't think you're in the minority. People do not fuck with that movie very much.
bro.
I
Listen,
don't. I
it's a
think I
toss up
might be in the
between which
minority
one.
because I
It's a
don't think it's
toss up
that
between
bad.
which of the two Hulk movies are the worst one.
I don't
That's
know,
how
bro.
bad
All I
this is.
remember is like them Hulks was on some ass, and I don't think that it was Ed Norton when it might have been the other one. But all I remember is I be seeing this clip surface every once in a while where like he fighting these like big mutated rabbit ass dogs in the
That's the
forest.
first
And
Hulk.
at one point, he literally picked one of them bitches up by its leg and punches it straight in the dick, and then just throws that bitch up against the tree. Like
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
and that might have been the most lit scene from the first
Hulk wasn't
from the first
playing,
movie.
boy. He wouldn't have got hoed by no Thanos.
I'm just happy they finally got the X-Men in the main universe. Can't wait for that.
That is
Anyway,
fire.
I've been waiting for that for a long time. Uh,
Um,
Unpopular opinion, but I thought Age of Ultron was pretty rough. Yeah, that's very unpopular because that's my favorite Avengers movie, and was the first sign of fatigue. Like it was getting stale. Then Civil War revitalized the whole thing for years to come. I
I'm going
very
to
much enjoy Age of Ultron. That's my favorite Avengers movie. So
um you know, we'll see if my opinion remains the same when we get to it. But there I think that there's a pretty decent argument to be made that I believe it's James Spader is the name of the guy who
mm,
is the voice actor for Ultron. I think he
mm,
carried a lot of that movie. That guy is just
yeah,
fucking fantastic as Ultron. Like Ultron as a character
absolutely
is so
terrific. I want to
interesting.
say Ultron was probably the best written villain that they had up until Thanos.
Yeah, like it, because like I say, just the idea of him is like insane, even if you know the lore of the character and shit. But like, it lends itself very well to a lot of shit. But yeah, um, I don't know, man. Like I say, we'll figure out how we feel about it when we get to it.
Yep. Hey man, we always appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you can get the notifications for when we go live. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord, please. We appreciate it.
Go
Yeah,
watch
we'll
our
be
other
back.
crash courses if you haven't already. We did Saw, X Men and Wolverine, Aliens. I'm sorry, X Men and Deadpool, Aliens. It's a lot
Yeah,
of franchises we worked through, and we're gonna work through a lot more before it's all over with. This is the big one, like I say, it's been years that I guess this is kind of our giving back to the fans after some years that we didn't put in work.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, we appreciate y'all joining. Make sure you pull up for the next ones. That's gonna be Captain Marvel. That will be sometime next week. Yeah, man. Pull up for we're watching The Blackening tomorrow. Pull up for Game of Thrones for all my Game of Thrones heads. We're gonna be doing that on Sunday. We missed this past Sunday just because niggas had a lot of shit going on, but we back at it again this Sunday on that. Uh, Join us, follow us, like us, hate us, whatever the fuck you want to do. Be cool, man. We out this house.
With no music.